Saint Clare of Assisi. She was from a noble family and she also had 2 invitations for marriage, but she wanted to leave the world, and so she went to Saint Francis of Assisi, and she became then a nun. And now she lived there first in a Benedictine house, but then some time on later, in 1215, she became the abbess of a house next to the church of San Damiano in Assisi, and she stayed then in the position of abbess and led that house with the people in it for the rest of her life, basically. And it is said that she never left that house. And also her mother, her widowed mother, and her sister Agnes joined that house, which was then called Poor Ladies. Today that thing is called Poor Clares. Now, she introduced the new rules, and they were stricter than previously for the people living there, and that were when that the people were living entirely on alms, and that they were not allowed to have any possessions, so not own property, and also not personal, and that they had to sleep on the ground, not to eat meat, and only were allowed to speak when it was necessary, and to be barefoot. Now, there are some other things. She is the patronage of television and of radio, and of sore eyes and of eye diseases and employment and needleworkers. In the year 1235, there was an army invading, and there were attackers climbing the walls of San Damiano. She went out to the window, as it told, and held out the monstrance, and that made the attackers to flee. And at another time, she was sitting in her bed upright. She was a lot of her life sick, and she was making a continuous fine thread of silk, was she spinning, out of which one corporates a type of clothing for the altar is made. And it is said that when she was a lot sick, and she couldn't attend the mass. So it is said that at her walls of her room was the mass displayed. That's why she is the patronage of television and eyes and eye diseases. And that is according to Malcolm Bliss, a Treasury of Saints book on the page 20.